Alright guys, so I am in absolute utter shock. I just finished reading the full abilities for LF Super 17. It literally just got released 15 minutes ago, and it's pretty crazy, okay? They've literally built the ultimate android. So let's not waste any time. I want to read the ability. It's ridiculous, okay? I want to read the abilities with you guys really quick. I want your thoughts in the comment section down below what you guys think about this. It's absolutely insane. Let's not waste any time, okay? By the way, if you guys do enjoy the video, as always, make sure you guys simply just like and subscribe. We are not going to be reading the over review because that's absolutely useless. We're just going to go straight into the abilities, what he does, okay? So we're going to be starting off with, of course, his main ability. It says here, randomly destroys one of your own cards and draws Ultimate Arts card Flash Bomber next. Restores own health by 30% and ki by 50. Okay, that's pretty good. Also inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 20% to damage received for 50 timer counts. It's a long time. Pretty much the whole match, honestly, like half of the match. So that's actually pretty good. Also inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade -1 to arts card draw speed level for 20 timer counts, which is also pretty significant. Okay, pretty good main ability so far. There's also this section on here which says also applies the following effects to self according to the number of remaining enemy battle members left. Okay, so this is all depending on your opponent's team. If there's basically the beginning of the match, if there's 3 battle members remaining, it says enemy, right? Remaining enemy battle members, yes. So you get an ability that applies attribute upgrade -30 to enemy sustained damage cut effects for 10 timer counts. If there's 2 enemy battle members remaining, applies attribute upgrade -40 to sustained damage cut effects for 10 timer counts. 1 battle member remaining, same thing, applies attribute upgrade -70 to enemy sustained damage cut effects for 10 timer counts. Takes 25 timer counts to pop your main ability. So really good main ability, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Honestly, guys, it's absolutely crazy. Now, his Z ability is what we expected. It's a buff towards GT, androids, and powerful opponents, base blast attack and strike defense, and also an additional 18% to tag GT base blast defense during battle. So pretty standard what we expect in terms of his Z ability. Now his strike card holds an ability as well, which basically on hits inflicts all enemies with damage increase received, which is going to be 10% to damage received for 10 timer counts, which is pretty significant for just using your strike card, which you would do anyways. Also his blast attack, which by the way, he is a ranged type unit according to his kit. Okay, so take a look at this, guys. Plus 170% to blast damage inflicted against enemies' armor. So if there's a character, thank God MUI Goku doesn't have blast armor, but if he did, he would be melted. Okay, so any character basically that has blast armor and gets hit by his blast attacks gets an extra 170%, guys. You know how ridiculous that is? That's absolutely ridiculous, dude. Oh my God. Okay, so his special move is deals massive impact damage. The following effects occur upon activation. Restores own ki by 30, and this is upon activation. Also seals, by the way, sealing is going to be part of this character's theme. So let's pay attention here how many times he seals your enemy's cards, okay? Seals one enemy card, slot randomly, and just a slot, not the card. The seal slot cannot be used for 10 timer counts, and the following effects occur on hits. Draws a special arts next, which by the way, he has the most busted special arts, which we'll be taking a look at just right now in 1 bit. And inflicts all enemies with 3 substitution counts, which is great. Okay, and of course this has blast armor charging forward. Now let's read his green card, dude. His green card is obviously the one where he absorbs the ki blast, whether it be a normal tap ki blast, a blast card, or it could be a super like Kamehameha, for example, right? So he absorbs it all. So it says here, absorbs enemies' ki blast attacks. The following effects occur upon activation. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for 10 timer counts, which is great. Also reduces enemies ki by 50, which is also great. And just a quick note, guys, this is upon activation. Okay, so upon activation, and then of course when you're successfully absorbing the enemy's ki as well. So there's two basically buffs in this. Okay, so the first half we're reading right now is just upon activating it. Reduces enemies ki by 50. Also seals all enemies' main abilities for 5-timer counts, and it seals your enemies' rising rushes for 5-timer counts as well. And it goes on to say here, the following effects also occurs upon absorption. When you absorb, their ki blast is successful pretty much, right? So restores own vanish gauge by 100%, activates 3 times. Also plus 100% to own unique gauge charge rate for 5-timer counts, which we'll get to his unique gauge right now in just one bit. Also plus 50% to blast attacks damage up for a 10-timer count. Excuse me. 50% is really good, very good. Which on top of his normal kit, which we're gonna get to in just one bit, is a really crazy addition. Okay. Also reduces enemies vanish to 0, and there's no timers on this. It does not activate once, twice, 3 times. It reduces your enemies vanish to 0 every time you pull this off. That's really good. Also inflicts enemies with no switching for 3-timer counts, activates twice. So they're going to be without a vanish, you're going to have vanish, and they're going to be stuck for 3-timer counts. Pretty interesting, right? So by far one of the most broken green cards we've ever read in Dragon Ball Legends. Really, really good. Now we also have his ultimate here. We're just getting through his cards before we get to his actual unique abilities. So his ultimate is deals massive impact damage, applies the following effects to self upon activation. So upon activation, right? He restores ki by 30, nullifies enemies, restores health when it reaches 0, of course endurance for 3-timer counts. Also applies the following effects to self according to the number of remaining enemy battle members. Okay, 3 enemy battle members, 20%. 2 enemy battle members, 40% to ultimate, and then 1 enemy battle member remaining, 70% to ultimate damage move. And also, the following effects occur on hits. Draws a special card. The next green card activates once. So you get the theme here. He's drawing a green card from multiple places here. One from that, also one from his special, from his ultimate, right? So that's good because his green card is really busted, right? And also half of the damage inflicted will be dealt to the enemy's members on standby. So this, of course, cannot be caused for them to be defeated. And this has blast armor while charging forward. Pretty obvious. Really good so far. Now, we are going to be getting to the unique abilities, guys. Unique ability number 1 and unique ability number 2 is absolutely insane. Okay, it gets even more insane from what we just read. So let's start it off. Okay. Unique ability number 1. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts. Plus 100% to damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled. Reduces reduces damage received by 70%, cannot be cancelled. Increases arts card draw speed by level 1, cannot be cancelled. And minus 10 to blast, special move and ultimate arts costs cannot be cancelled. So really, really basic, but really, really good. Just for existing, right, ability. And 100% is really good because on top of that, we're going to get an additional 90% here for just entering the battlefield. Activates once and that cannot be canceled. So just this with this already is 190% for just existing. Really crazy, okay? So applies the following effects when this character enters the battlefield. For just pretty much existing, right? He gets 30 ki, which is great. I love this. I feel like this ability here is super underrated to continue combos. Absolutely love it. But of course, the ability we just read, plus 90% to damage inflicted, cannot be canceled, activates once. So that's 190% to his damage inflicted for just existing. Also, plus 400% to amount unique gauge is charged by the next card used. Cannot be stacked, and it cannot be canceled. So this is really good. We're going to get to this in just one bit, his unique gauge. 400% is absolutely insane, dude. Insane, okay? Wow. Actually, this is really insane. We're going to get to this. Okay. Applies the following effects to self every time this character uses a blast card. So every time he uses a blast card, he restores ki by 10. He gets 15% to special move damage inflicted, cannot be canceled, activates 3 times. Okay. Plus 20% to ki recovery, cannot be canceled, activates 4 times, which is really crazy, right? So his special move is going to get an extra, 3 times? That's what? Where's my math? That's 45%, right? And then an additional 80% to ki recovery, which is really crazy and cannot be canceled. So it's really good. And also the following effects occur upon landing a blast card on hit. So every time he uses is what we just read. Every time he lands one is what we just read as well. This is really crazy, okay, guys? So upon landing a blast card on hits, seals one enemy's card randomly. This enemy card cannot be used for 10-timer counts. Okay, let me reread that because I want to make sure I got this correctly. The following effects occur upon landing a blast card. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, this Android 17 has 4 blast cards on hand. You charge step 4 blast card, successfully land 4 blast cards. What would happen? All your 4 enemies' cards on their hand would be sealed for 10-timer counts. So they wouldn't be able to do anything with their hand for at least 5-timer counts. Right? Really broken if this is what I'm thinking. Okay? Also inflicts all enemies with attribute downgraded minus 80% to health restoration for 3-timer counts. Yikes. Ooh. Okay. And it gets more interesting. The following effects occur upon landing a tap attack, 3rd attack. So what they mean by this is, finishing instead of just single tap attacking, you have to completely commit to your tap attack. So the following effects occur upon landing a tap attack, 3rd attack, tap shot, or quick attack hits. You get 50% to own unique gauge charge rates for 10-timer counts, which we're going to get to his unique gauge in just one bit, guys. Relax. We have a lot of charge rates, 400% up here. Really crazy stuff to his unique gauge. Okay. Also seals enemy strikes and special moves, and the sealed strikes and special moves cannot be used for 2-timer counts. So a lot of locking enemies cards. It's going to be very annoying to fight this Android 17, man. Very annoying, okay? Now, let's get to his unique ability number 2. Gets more interesting. Knocks enemy back to long range if cover change is performed against their strike attacks, okay? You could combo in a special move or ultimate arts on top of this. And as you guys already saw from the preview, randomly draws one of your own cards, randomly destroys one of your own cards and draws the ultimate arts card Flash Bomber next when performing a special cover change. Activates once, obviously. Now, this is going to be a little bit trickier to pull off because of cover nullification, but still, if you guys do pull this off, man oh man, it's going to be nice, right? It's pretty much a UI Goku Part 2. It's like a reverse UI Goku. UI Goku is when you cover change. This is when you cover change against your enemy's attack, right? So kind of a reverse, but really broken. 2 ultimates right there. Now, here's his unique gauge, guys. Charges own unique gauge every time this character uses an arts card while they are on the battlefield, okay? Once the unique gauge is full, it resets to 0, and the following effects occur. Draw a blast card next. Restores own health by 10% and ki by 40. Plus 25% to damage inflicted for 50-timer counts, guys. 50-timer counts. Cannot be canceled. Also applies, that means you could just keep looping in through your unique ability, your unique gauge, and you're just going to be getting 25% for 50-timer counts, which is pretty much half the match, right? At least like 30-40% of the match. It's really crazy. And of course, you get nullification on enemy special cover changes for 5-timer counts. This is actually the only place where he gets special cover change, which is fine because I feel like this is going to be ran through pretty quick due to all the buffs for his unique gauge that we just read. Okay. Also cancels own attribute downgraded in abnormal conditions and reduces enemies' Dragon Balls by 1, activates 3 times. Very good unique gauge, especially because here you get a 400% to amount for your next card used every time he enters the battlefield. So if you enter the battlefield and use a blast card, you automatically get 400%, or a strike card, 400% to unique gauge is charged by the next arts card used. This is really broken, man. This guy's looking absolutely busted. I would advise you guys to summon on this character, okay? Now, where were we? We were right here, okay? His unique gauge, we read that. So his unique gauge is really busted, okay? All of this we just read, okay? If you guys want to pause it right there, pause it. Or reread it. Okay, the following effects occur every time this character uses an arts card while this character is on the battlefield. Randomly draws at most 3 new cards when you have 3 or fewer cards. Okay. Okay, just every time your enemy uses a card, you get your full hand back pretty much. Restores own health by 3% and inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade +2 to all arts costs for 15 timer counts. This is pretty broken too, guys. 15 timer counts +2 cards. Let's just say they combo in, string in like 4 to 5 combos. That's automatically 10% or +10 to all their arts costs for 15 timer counts, right? Pretty good. Very good, as a matter of fact. Very underrated. Also, the following effects occur when enemy switches while this character is on the battlefield. While he's on the battlefield and the enemy switches, he draws a blast card next, okay? Restores own key by 30. Also nullifies own unfavorable element factors for, unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 5 timer counts. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 5 timer counts. Okay, I read that correctly. Also reduces enemy's key by 20. Okay. And +2 to all enemy substitution counts. Whoa, okay. More locking in. And we're not done yet, guys. Cancels enemies' buff effects every time the enemy uses a special move arts while this character is on the battlefield. Activates 3 times. Now, this is where it gets kind of interesting, right? The following effects occur, or more interesting. The following effects occur when enemy uses an ultimate, awaken, rising rush while this character is on the battlefield. You shorten pretty much your ally substitution count by 5 and inflicts enemies with attribute downgrade. -50 to ultimate arts and awaken arts for 3 timer counts and cancels enemy buff effects. Now, why this is so good, if you pair this up with Android 17 from TOP, right? He does pretty much the same thing. He pretty much nerfs your enemy's damage, ultimate damage, even if he's on the battlefield. The old TOP, I say old because he's technically came out last January. But TOP LF17, he does pretty much the same thing. And this is really good if you pair him up also with the brand new Spirit Bomb GT Kid Goku, because he has endurance. And if they pop a Rising Rush while this character's on the battlefield, not only do you take out 5 substitution count from your ally, so you can bring them in, most likely. And then you also cancel enemies' buff effects. So, for example, if Vegito Blue, Ultra Vegito Blue, goes in to cancel your endurance, this would cancel his ability to cancel your endurance, right? So really good character off the bat. He's most likely going to be a range from what we read. Pretty obvious. Now, this character is going to have a pretty interesting banner. And this Bola and Vegeta looks pretty interesting as well, since they're a support unit. But Gamma 1 and 2 is going to be the banner. TOP 17 now, it would be the ultimate banner. This is already a good banner right here at face, right? And it has a really cool name called Creeping Hellspawn, which is really interesting. But if they add the LF Perfect, the purple latest Perfect Cell, this would be absolutely insane, guys. Absolutely insane. So yeah, this guy looks like an absolute unit. Definitely advise everybody summon on this. Man, it's going to be a very interesting, and it's good, because UI Goku needs to get punished even more. But I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Post this video. Comment down below your thoughts. And if you guys did enjoy the video, as always, make sure you guys simply just like and subscribe. And yeah, best of luck to you guys if you are summoning. I'll be live tomorrow, by the way, summoning for this. But yeah, best of luck to you guys. Have a good one. Peace.